I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through. I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling on my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go. The only thing that I know, you were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. What do you think that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity. 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 I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we prepare for the 19th race of the 8th season of the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. Getting ready to cap off the quadfecta on the Cup Series side of mile racetracks. 3 weeks ago, we were at Hillside Raceway. 2 weeks ago, Iowa Speedway. Then we were at the Chicago Motor Speedway last week. And today we cap it off in the Granite State with our 8th visit to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Last week we saw Destin Bolin join Carson Gum atop the leaderboard for most wins here this season. His third trip to victory lane, his third victory at his third different configuration of racetrack as well. A lot of momentum in that 0-2 camp. He moved his way up into the top 10 in points, and now he's looking for his series leading fourth win on the season as he qualified well here yesterday in pole day qualifying, starting up inside the top 10 in the 6th position. Let's take a look at our front row as we've got a couple of hopefuls to add their name to the already growing list of drivers that have found victory lane here in Season 8. You've got the former champion from Season 5, Caleb Fogler, lined up on the pole position. Fogler struggled last week, really out of the gate, ended up finding himself a few laps down, never was able to come back from it. He ended up finishing way down in the running order and subsequently dropped 5 spots in the standings from 23rd to 28th. Fogler is hovering perilously around that 30th in the standings cut line. A victory obviously would help him not only get away from that cut line, but also would put him in a wild card position. As coming into this afternoon's race, only 4 wild card slots are currently held by former winners this season. Speaking of former winners, you've got a former Duracell Next Gen Cup Series winner in Quentin Moore lined up to his outside. Now, Quentin Moore, if we go back to around the All-Star break, we were talking about him potentially pointing his way up into the top 10. Since then, it's been a flip-flop of inconsistencies. Some somewhat good runs, some somewhat bad runs. He's hovering 15th in the point standings. He's only a total of 8 points below the 10th in the standings cut line. So a good run here today could certainly point him back up into the top 10. A win would more than likely put him right smack dab into playoffs conversation. Remember, we've seen what Quentin Moore can do with good starting track position. He got his very first career win a few seasons ago at Dover, another Northeast racetrack, and he did it from the pole position, went coast to coast, pole to win. So we'll see if with good starting track position here this afternoon, if he can find his way back to victory lane. Another interesting statistic there about Quentin Moore, we have, I believe, about a half dozen drivers that have yet, 18 races in, have yet to score a top 5 finish. Quentin is the highest running of those drivers, 15th in points, no top 5 so far here in Season 8. So he'll look to put a crooked number in that column here this weekend for sure. Let's go down trackside. Let's get those famous words in motorsports because we're getting ready to go racing here at the Magic Mile, the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines.
You will see your 42-car starting lineup on the right side of your screen. These are your point standings coming into this afternoon's race. Well, a wheel problem last week for Levi McIntyre allowed Carson Gum and Alexander Rowe to cut into his points lead by a huge margin. Carson is now only 3 points back in second. Alexander Rowe only 10 points back in third. So the battle for the regular season championship is back on here at New Hampshire. Ryan Brommer, fourth in points, is 23 points out. James Qualls, the defending winner of this race from one season ago, he is fifth in points, 37 points back. Jack Mitchell currently sits sixth. Seventh for Eric Sadler. Matt Haas in eighth. You mentioned that Destin Bolin, after his victory last week, moved into the top 10. He is ninth. And Michael Norman currently holds the final 10th points-paying position if the playoffs were to have begun this week. We'll talk about the wild card spots here in just a moment. We've run this racetrack 7 straight seasons, 4 former winners in the field here this afternoon, as 91 laps await these drivers here today, and it's Caleb Fogler, the former champion, leading them into turn 1. Fogler's got to clear for the top position. Quentin Moore now under fire from Nathan Ormond for second place. Ormond, one of 4 drivers, currently in a wild card position via a race victory this season. The number 1 seed currently belongs to Connor Breton, the only 2-time winner outside the top 10 but inside of the top 30. One-time winners RJ Bishop, Daniel Voiles, and Nathan Ormond currently hold the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th wildcard seeds, which means that the 5th and 6th seeds would currently go to the drivers that are highest in the point standings without a victory but are inside the top 30, outside of the top 10. Those spots right now would go to Matt McIntyre, who is 11th in the overall standings, and Nick Gunther, who dropped out of the top 10 in points last week, fell from 9th to 13th. He would currently be in the final wild card position as things currently run. A driver will have to keep an eye on here this afternoon, a former winner here from New Hampshire 2 seasons ago, is Keith Batson, former winner from Progressive Speedway just after the All-Star break, has now drifted below the 30th in standings cut line, so his race victory currently does not have him eligible for a wild card position. Some other former winners from this event. We already talked about James Qualls, the defending winner. First 2 seasons that we ran here at New Hampshire, the inaugural winner was Austin LaPlante. Following season, Levi McIntyre got his very first career victory in Duracell Next Gen Cup Series competition. The other 3 former winners at this racetrack no longer in the series, former champion Jordan Lopez, Ryan Butcher, and Patrick Smith, who those 2 drivers both won their races here, driving Toyotas for Auto Junction Racing. Third place battle, Autumn Brooks will get to the inside of Nathan Ormond. Brooks making her 12th start on the season. She and Bryce Egan, the 2 that qualified their way in to the field yesterday afternoon. Looks like inside line, preferred line through 1 and 2. Middle line can hold its own through 3 and 4. Though Ormond's able to battle back here off the exit of 2, we will remain side by side for 3rd place. Jack Mitchell now as well, pulling to the inside, hoping that Autumn completes that pass, which she will do. Mitchell will follow her right on through. Matter of a couple of corners, Ormond goes from 3rd back to 5th. Benjamin Miles, right now in the 6th position, looking to take a top 5 spot from Ormond. Benjamin coming into this race in the 24th position in points. There was a point beginning of the season we were talking about him consistently up inside the top 10 in the standings, but aside from Connor Breton's 2 trips to victory lane this year, it has really been a struggle for the entire Northeast Motorsports organization. LaPlante dead last in the points, the full-time drivers. Casey Hoyt has had a couple of glimmers of hope, the defending Rookie of the Year. But you just kind of look at the bad luck he's had. You can even go back as recently as last week when Casey Hoyt couldn't even roll off of the grid. Had a problem. He was able to work his way back up to a somewhat decent finish, but certainly gave up a ton of track position. I think he was slated to roll off that race, what was it, 5th, I think? And then when we completed the first 5 laps, he was dead last. Forgot to bring up the ticker, apologies for that. As we're currently on lap number 9 and watching the battle potentially here for the race lead. Fogler getting pressured by Quentin Moore. Autumn Brooks and Jack Mitchell 3rd and 4th, starting to close up on this group as well. Might make it a 4-car fight for the top position. Ooh, that was almost contact right there as Mitchell forces his way to the inside of Autumn Brooks. Jack Mitchell, former winner this season at Phoenix, and of course we run the traditional configuration of Phoenix, so what is currently 1 and 2 at the venue is what we dub 3 and 4. And 3 and 4 at Phoenix does have a lower flat banked couple of corners there, maybe somewhat similar to what the drivers are dealing with this afternoon when they approach 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here at New Hampshire. That could play into Jack Mitchell's wheelhouse as he's looking for his 2nd win on the season. So far this year, we've ended up having 4 drivers go to victory lane multiple times. 3 times for Carson Gum, Destin Bolin, 2 times for Matt Haas and Connor Breton. Jack Mitchell looking to be the 5th driver to break into the winner's circle multiple times here in Season 8. Teammates for the 7th spot, Connor Breton, one of those multi-time winners we just talked about, was looking to the inside of Benjamin Miles. Levi McIntyre, former winner here from Season 2. Points leader coming into this one. Going to lose a spot, it looks like, to Jesse Turner, and look who's right behind him, Carson Gum. 3 points separate these 2 drivers, Levi and Carson, for the overall points lead. Another former winner, the inaugural winner from this race back in Season 1, Austin LaPlante. Working his way up now into the top 15. Right behind former champion Kyle Matthews. I'm trying to remember back, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that LaPlante, he started up close to the front in the race that he won. I think the same can be said for Levi McIntyre. As Dylan Pote going to get pushed way up the racetrack there, running behind his Fortnite Squad Racing teammate Carson Gum. Reggie Fogelman, another Toyota there. Somebody down on the apron. I thought I saw. Yeah, that's Jack Mitchell. This has to be unscheduled. Something's wrong on the 0-1. And Jack was up as high as 3rd place. We'll try and figure out what's going on there with the Altitude Graphics Chevrolet Camaro. But that has now opened up a big gap from 2nd place back to 3rd place, which now is Autumn Brooks. The top 2, Fogler and Moore, have been able to pull away. Battle brewing for 4th place, Destin Bolin, 1 week removed from his 3rd win on the season, his 6th overall career win. Hounding Nathan Orman for that spot. Mitchell returning back to the racetrack, but he is going to fall off the lead lap. Report is he felt he had a tire going down. So for Jack Mitchell, he's hoping that this race continues to run green. We don't know what the fuel window is for these drivers, but one would have to wonder this long into a run, can Mitchell make it the rest of the way? Or can he make it on 1 more pit stop when everybody else would have to make 2 pit stops? We'll have to see how this plays out for him, because his race is certainly not over right now, but he does not want to see a caution. If a caution comes out, then he's going to be trapped a lap down, have to get his lap back the hard way, which isn't impossible. I mean, last week we ended up seeing this guy running back around the 34th position, 1 lap down. He was able to get his lap back the hard way and worked his way up to finish in the 17th position. That's why Carson is single digits behind Levi McIntyre for the overall points lead coming into this week. Took advantage of the mechanical failure the 99 had last week and was able to take what was looking like was going to be a finish outside of the top 20 and ended up managing to finish just outside of the top 15. Right now, though, Levi McIntyre has been able to pass a few cars since he had Carson hounding him. Going to make his way around Connor Breton here as well, moving into the 7th position. Up ahead, Nathan Orman going to hold off Destin Bolin for the time being. Here comes Benjamin Miles trying to make the outside line work around the Frosted Flakes Dark Horse Mustang. And Ben might actually have something there. Tries to get the run off of 4. Will he clear down the front straightaway? This is for the 5th position. Doesn't have it yet. But he'll get it there. How about that? Passing that New Hampshire around the outside. That's almost a thing unheard of. And, of course, a lot of that could be attributed to this new model of the next-gen car. A lot more downforce available with the rear wing. Carson Gum trying to make a pass there on Austin LaPlante. Actually, correction, that was LaPlante on the offense, trying to pick up the 11th spot. Nope, the 12th spot, I'm sorry, on Carson, which he will succeed in so doing. Michael Norman, his rookie teammate Daniel Bouchard, 14th and 15th. Michael coming into this race 10th in the point standings. He's the 3rd highest driver in overall points without a victory. Levi, of course, the highest. And Alexander Rowe, 3rd in points, the 2nd highest. But Michael, he's been hovering around that 10th position in points the last 3 or 4 weeks. And he would like to put some distance between himself and that cut line. More importantly, he'd like to get to victory lane. Been a bit of a winless streak there for the 22 cars. Good battle up here just in the latter half of the top 10. Jesse Turner on the move to the inside of Connor Breton. Had him stacked up behind with Kyle Matthews making a pass on Reggie Fogelman. Move Kyle into the 10th spot. Breton not going to give up 8th lightly here. He'll keep the spot, and now Kyle Matthews will jump to the outside of Jesse Turner. Caution now, we've got a wreck over in turn 1. And that may have been right in front of the leaders. It looks like maybe a couple of teammates could have gotten together there. A couple of Mazdas, Nick Gunther and Autumn Brooks, who look like they may have been trapped a lap down as a result here too. Actually, no. Actually, may have just been Autumn. Nick Gunther just made an unscheduled pit stop. I didn't see that happen, and he is 2 laps down. This is the caution that Jack Mitchell did not want to see, as pit road is open unless Mitchell decides to stay out here, remain on the tail end of the lead lap, and try and get his lap back the hard way. We'll have to follow up on that. Gunther's going to stay out, so he'll be -1 when we go back green, it looks like. Mitchell does indeed stay out, but pit road is not open for him. It will be open next time for lap machines. Kyler Sustre on pit road there, and that is not a car that was running up front, so he may actually be part of the reason that this caution is flying for the first time this afternoon, as we'll go back and take a look at what happened over in turn 1. This is coming out of 4. Looks like the 4 car may have lost power. And then Keith Batson's trapped behind him. Tries to go around his right side and pulls right up in front of Benjamin Snyder. Yeah, the 4-car just stopped on the racetrack. That looks like that could be an electrical problem. I didn't see smoke, so I don't know if it would necessarily be that the engine died, but just him slowing like that, that says that he may have lost voltage. Batson trying to figure out what to do here. He'll try and get around him and pulls right up there in front of Benjamin Snyder. Cole Deaver gets involved. Laura Chung got a piece of that as well. And Charles Sanford, who scored a top 5 last week at Chicago, was in the middle of that. I don't know if he got involved or not. So I am curious to know. We know Nick Gunther had an unscheduled pit stop. How did Autumn Brooks manage to fall a lap down? Oh, she didn't fall a lap down. I'm an idiot. She was running in 3rd. But Gunther had an unscheduled pit stop, and the troubles continue for Jack Mitchell. This was underpacing. And I believe he was getting ready to either come down pit road or stay out to be on the tail end of the lead lap. This was going into turn 1. And you see the smoke billow out from underneath his Chevrolet. So he has a tire going down, has to pit, loses a lap, and now the engine goes kaplooey. And Mitchell's going to be the first retiree, at least we believe, from this race. Jury is still out on the 4 of Kyler Sustre. It's no longer out. We just now see him pulling up here behind Nick Gunther. So Sustre will be 2 laps down. Nick Gunther currently is being scored 1 lap down. I believe he is 2 laps down here to the leader, Caleb Fogler. And he'll look to get 1 of those laps back when we go back green. Tough break there for Jack Mitchell, who will finish dead last here this afternoon. Came into this race 6th in points. Our Phoenix winner was looking strong here in the early going, up inside of the top 5. Fogler will lead Quentin Moore, Benjamin Miles, Autumn Brooks, and Destin Bolin back to the green. Top 10 completed with Ormond, Breton, Turner, McIntyre, and Matthews. Fogler going to try and clear that lap traffic to his inside. Gunther going to battle back here off of turn 2, however. Gunther is indeed 2 laps down, looking to get 1 of those laps back. Same for Kyler Sustre. But that outside line finding momentum through 3 and 4. Fogler will clear. Gunther will actually move ahead of Quentin Moore. So put a fast lap machine between the race leader and 2nd place. Quentin now going to be under fire, as Autumn Brooks, Destin Bolin, Connor Breton looking to make their way around the 4 machine of Kyler Sustre. Gunther trying to go around the top of 3 and 4, trying to get around the 28, get his lap back, or 1 of his 2 laps back, I should say. Almost 3 wide back here. Let's follow this, as this is all stacked up. Connor Breton, Nathan Ormond, Jesse Turner, Benjamin Miles. 3 wide again there for a brief moment through 1 and 2. Connor Breton now looked like he wanted to shoot up the middle there on Autumn Brooks and Destin Bolin. They're still stacked up behind the lap machine of Kyler Sustre. Our 2 lap cars appear to be up to speed, so it's not like they're moving chicanes, but they will be difficult passes if you're going to get up there and try and battle anybody else for a position on the racetrack. Bolin and Brooks, this is for 3rd place. Connor Breton looking on, as Autumn looks like she's going to clear through the center of 3 and 4, gets a nice run, and she will keep the position at least for the time being. Whoa, Benjamin Miles, saw him top of your screen, very loose off of turn 4 as Kyle Matthews makes a pass on him. That was, I believe, for the 8th spot. Quentin Moore trying to make his way around Nick Gunther to get up there and challenge Caleb Fogler for the race lead. So the timing of that caution rather interesting. We were around, what was it, 25 laps into this race, 25 laps into this race. That would have put us around 65, 70 laps from the finish. We don't know what the fuel window is for these drivers, but did that just allow them to be able to make it the rest of the distance on fuel is now the big concern. Tire conservation for the long run. Or will we see pit road still play its part into the outcome of this race? As Destin Bolin under fire from Connor Breton. We saw that outside line is a viable option to try and make a pass. Breton trying to do just that. Looking at the right rear quarter panel of Destin Bolin. Slipped up there though, and it's going to actually cost him a position as Nathan Ormond looks to make his way on by and move into, I believe that's the 5th position. And here comes Jesse Turner, right up on his left rear now, looking for 6th. Kyle Matthews and rookie Daniel Bouchard back there. That is for the 8th position. Kyler Sustre, make that Casey Hoyt rather. Just behind that battle, he's now up to 9th, and Levi McIntyre just got 10th position as Benjamin Miles is going to fall back to 11th. Well, Quentin Moore has not been able to stay in touch with Nick Gunther. In fact, he's about to fall back here into the clutches of Kyler Sustre. This is not for positions. Sustre is 2 laps down, but trying to get up there to the race leader, Caleb Fogler, to get one of his 2 laps back. And we'll start to see once again here, hopefully, if we continue to trend green, who's got the better long-run machines. Cole Deaver with an unscheduled pit stop in the 3 car. He did get a piece of the incident over here in turn 1 that brought out our only caution to this point. Not only did he make contact with the cars that were wrecking, he also went up and was riding the outside wall all the way through 1 and 2. As look at Carson Gum up the gut between Benjamin Miles and Kyle Matthews. This is 3 wide for the 10th position. Carson trying to keep in touch with the 99. Levi McIntyre just up ahead of him. A rookie this season going up against a rookie last season, Daniel Bouchard. Trying to make the pass on Casey Hoyt. Great run out of this 33 here this afternoon. This is for 8th place. I mean, you look at Michael Norman Motorsports as a whole, and they've been doing pretty well here this season. Michael, we mentioned top 10 in the point standings. Matt McIntyre, 11th in overall points. Bouchard's not doing bad himself for a rookie. He is 19th in points. He's looking for his first top 5, though, of the season. I mentioned about the fact that Quentin Moore, who started this race 2nd, currently running in 2nd, is the highest driver in the point standings yet to net a top 5 finish in the first 18 races. Other drivers that are also in that category, we just mentioned about Daniel Bouchard, Cole Deaver, Jesse Turner, Dylan Young, and Austin LaPlante. Those 6 drivers have yet to score a top 5 finish yet this season. Right now, Quentin Moore in 2nd place is in line to be able to do just that, as we may have ourselves a battle for 3rd place here. Dustin Bolin driving it deep into turn 1. He'll get alongside of Autumn Brooks Tries to get back to the throttle through the center of the corner, and he may complete this pass. Brooks stays to his right rear. She's going to drive it deep on the top side here through 3 and 4. So this battle is not over. This will continue all the way back to the start-finish line. But it looks like Bolin able to get the power down. That car looked really nice through the center of both corners there. And he'll move up back onto the podium in 3rd place. Quentin Moore back on the bumper of Nick Gunther, trying to get around the lap machine as Caleb Fogler has led all 41 laps so far. And we're going to have to break out the NNSCRA split cam as just a couple of laps ago, mechanical failure for the 84 of Cody Lamas. If he didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all this season. Cody Lamas suffered a DNF last week, getting involved in a massive wreck up in turn 1. Dropped 6 spots and stains to 37th. And another DNF for the single car entry out of Llama Racing here this afternoon. Going to join Jack Mitchell behind the wall. Quentin's cleared Nick Gunther. And now he will set his sights on Caleb Fogler. Try and get up there in battle for the race lead. Dustin Bolin going to get around Gunther as well. Autumn Brooks looking to do the same. They'll still have to deal with the 4 of Kyler Sustre, who actually just picked up a spot right there. Remember, both Sustre and Nick Gunther are 2 laps down, so those two are battling for the 39th position. Cole Deaver, the other lap machine, is 1 lap down in the 38th spot. Let's take a look at lap times here. Last time by, Caleb Fogler, 31.8, almost 8 flat. Quentin Moore, 31.89, almost 31.9. So about a 1/10 of a second advantage right now for Caleb Fogler. Got to put into account how much tire rubber may have been used up by Quentin Moore, attempting to get around Nick Gunther. Gunther has managed to get back by Autumn Brooks. So now it's Destin Boland dealing with Sustre, trying to clear all of the lap traffic here. And if I'm looking at the fastest car on the long run right now, I think it's the 47 of Jesse Turner. Turner's been able to work his way up into the top 10. He's now knocking on the door of the top 5, been able to close up the gap between himself and Nathan Ormond. Turner was another of those drivers that we listed that had yet to score a top 5. Jesse Turner's been a multi-time champion competitor in the playoffs. This season, though, has been extremely quiet for the multi-time winner, as he is 26th in points coming into this weekend. But it's always those savvy veterans that choose this portion of the schedule to maybe jump out at the last minute and say, hey, did you forget about me? Here's my resume. Dustin Boland now looking to make the pass on Kyler Sustre. Put all the lap traffic in his rearview mirror. That'd be the top 3 clear of traffic. Speaking of traffic, I believe that Caleb Fogler is about to catch a race car up ahead here. That might be Cole Deaver. Yes, it is. Deaver, who is only 1 lap down, in danger of going a 2nd lap down. And if Fogler spends too much time having to deal with the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, that's going to bring Quentin Moore right up to him in the potential battle for the lead. Past the halfway point here. About to have 50 laps in the books of 91 scheduled laps here this afternoon. 40 drivers still running. 37 of them on the lead lap. 2 drivers out of the race, both due to mechanical failures, Cody Lamas and Jack Mitchell. We've only had 1 caution so far here this afternoon. Well, a reminder next week, folks, that once again, the weekend will be dominated with Duracell Next Gen Cup Series competition. We won't see the lights drivers for another couple of weeks. Next week, you want a wild card race, you're getting one. We're going road course racing, but at the extremely unique Donkey Kong Jungle Raceway. Cannot wait for that one. Been looking forward to seeing what that track is going to bring to the table. Right plunk in the middle of the push towards the playoffs. It's almost like putting a super speedway at this portion of the schedule. Just, you do not have any idea what kind of a shakeup it might bring to the playoff picture. I even think your road course aces would be going into that event with some trepidation because nobody knows what to expect. It's making its debut on the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series schedule, and we'll have to see if its debut shows up enough for it to earn a permanent spot on the Next Gen Cup Series schedule. In 2 weeks' time, we will have the Light Series drivers back as they will join the Cup Series drivers in a doubleheader in the Bluegrass State at the Kentucky Speedway. Caleb Vogler, nice job getting around Cole Deaver, putting him in the rearview mirror, now 2 laps down for Deaver. And Quentin Moore was not able to close up the gap hardly at all on the 28 car during that battle. Dustin Bolin still hanging on to third. Autumn Brooks in fourth. Autumn is looking for her second top 5 of her career here in Cup Series competition. It's a shame she's not running for Rookie of the Year. She's got the rookie stripes, but she is not running for points here in the Cup Series. She's full-time in the Duracell Ultra Light Series, so drivers that come up here, Kyle Langland as well, that fits this criteria. They can run as many Cup races as they so choose here, but they cannot run for points here in the Cup Series if they are full-time in the Light Series. Subsequently, they cannot battle for Rookie of the Year on the Cup Series side. And Autumn Brooks is actually perilously close to making the minimum 15 starts this season, which, if she runs full-time next season in the Cup Series, which is the rumor, she would not be eligible to run for Rookie of the Year honor there either. You cannot make 15 full starts in the Cup Series and be eligible for Rookie of the Year. And I've got a feeling that she is going to make several more races this season. Well, this is not for the race lead, obviously, but Cole Deaver is putting up a fight here against Caleb Fogler. And that could be affecting Fogler's ability to put down good, consistent lap times. Might allow Quentin Moore the opportunity he's looking for to close up the gap. Right now, their lap time's pretty similar. How about Casey Hoyt? We didn't really get to see what this 24 was able to do last week after having a problem on the initial start of the race. Qualified well, though. Qualified decently here this weekend, and good long-run car. Currently in the 7th spot, looking for 6th on Jesse Turner. Nice to see Casey Hoyt, his fortunes change a little bit here. There was a lot of hype around this driver. Was a 3-time winner last season as a rookie. Won Rookie of the Year honor. Was in the championship hunt as well. Made the move over to Northeast Motorsports. A lot of people thought that was going to be a strong race car. I mean, we saw this race car put in victory lane by Matthew Rodriguez when he ran part-time over there to be able to make enough starts to be eligible for the playoffs. And this season is just not at all lived up to the expectations that we had when we kicked the season off at Daytona. He'll complete that pass around Jesse Turner to move up to P6. Maybe this is the start of Casey Hoyt finally being able to hit his stride here down the home stretch. Danny Bouchard, great run here as well. He's not the highest running rookie right now. That would be Autumn Brooks in the 4th position, but a really good run this afternoon for the 33 car. And Levi McIntyre, a former winner here at New Hampshire, while he's not done anything flashy here, he's not necessarily been in the conversation for the race, win the entire event. Solid inside the top 10, 9th place. More importantly, ahead of his competitors Carson Gum and Alexander Rowe. So right now, it looks like Levi McIntyre would be in line to hold the points lead heading into Donkey Kong Jungle Raceway next week. And a good run for Kyle Matthews. Well-needed run for this driver. We've documented the hardships he's had here all the way through the season. 35th in the points coming into this one. And looking to continue to climb his way up the point standings right now, holding on to the 10th spot. Connor Breton, two-time winner on the season right now in 11th. Three-time winner Carson Gum under fire from Benjamin Miles. A couple of similarly colored cars there. Black, white, and gold on the 19 Sharpie Camry and the number 25 Napa Filters Chevrolet. Pretty decent runs for all of those drivers there. Northeast Motorsports looking pretty good here this afternoon. They've got three of their drivers up inside the top 15. The only one that's missing is the inaugural winner from this race, Austin LaPlante, who's just outside of the top 20, right now scored in the 21st position. And there's Alexander Rowe, third in points, came into this one 10 points out of the points lead. He currently holds the 20th spot as things currently run. So a bit of a quiet afternoon for that driver out of Lake Effect Autosport. Speaking of Lake Effect Autosport, his teammate Jesse Turner has lost a couple of spots in the last couple of laps. So while it looked like he had a really good long run car, tires may have fallen off. Casey Hoyt got around him for 6th. Danny Bouchard just completed the pass to move into 7th. Autumn Brooks just moved into 3rd place, getting around Quentin Moore. Destin Boland is now the driver looking to hunt down Caleb Fogler for the race lead, potentially the race win. Cole Deaver managed to get back around the 28. And Destin had arguably the best long-run car last week at the Chicago Motor Speedway, another flat mile racetrack. Undoubtedly, this would, I would think, be the exact same car that they ran last week. They brought it here this week. But lap times are not showing him closing in on Fogler. That last time by, Fogler was 0.4 of a second faster than the 0-2. Let's see about this time by. 32.576 for Fogler. 31.9 for Destin Boland. That time he closed up by 0.6. Caleb Fogler's done a great job here, though, this afternoon. Started on the pole, has led the last 64 laps. We're still waiting to see if pit road's going to play a factor. Can these drivers make it on fuel after that one single caution coming out about 20 laps into this race? Why don't we take the opportunity here? We've been doing this during the whole quadfecta of these mile racetracks. Let's go on board with the Busch Gardens number 28 of Caleb Fogler and listen to how you have to finesse your way around this low-banked flat mile racetrack known as New Hampshire. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me, not only how much off the throttle time through the corners, but how early he lifts to coast it into the corner. Doesn't sound like he's using much brake. He's utilizing the momentum of the race car, the early lift to coast it in, which is allowing him to be able to save those front tires. But the gap is absolutely closing up right now. Another 2/10 chipped away by Destin Bolin. Last time by, he was less than 2 seconds behind Fogler. We could have a battle for the race lead brewing. Little update as well on Cole Deaver in the 3. When we cut back here to the race leader, we saw that the 3 had gotten around him. Well, the reason that Deaver is ahead of Fogler right now, he came to pit road again for another unscheduled pit stop. He is now 2 laps down behind Kyler Sustre and Nick Gunther, in danger of going a 3rd lap down now. So that is why Deaver is positioned where he is to the race leader, a 3rd pit stop for the 3 car here within the last 15 laps. Destin Bolin continuing to try and close up the gap. That last time by, he actually lost some ground. This time by, he'll gain it back by about half a second. I think he lost 4/10 the previous lap, gained 5/10 this lap time by. He's got to consistently chip away. He can't lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. That's just going to stall it out. Now, if, this is a big if because we don't know, if these drivers can't make it on fuel, you gotta think when they come to pit road, they're going to take on tires of some kind. I mean, at least you got to take right side tires. I don't see what the gamble of fuel only is going to gain you. And right now, looking at the lap times of our race leaders, there is a second to a second and a half to be gained. As a matter of fact, it's an average of about 1.3 seconds that you can gain on fresh tires. That time by, a 10th quicker for Destin Bolin. What about this time by? They're both on the same straightaway. Bolin can see the race leader. 32.5 to a 32.6. 10th of a second gained at that time by Caleb Fogler. It's a cat and mouse game going on right now, as Nathan Orman has gotten around Quentin Moore. Moore drops now back to 5th, and now he's under fire. Here's Casey Hoyt looking for a spot inside of the top 5. Quentin Moore, we mentioned, looking for his first top 5 of the season. Casey Hoyt looking to deny him. A couple of Chevrolet bow ties, duking it out for that spot. Autumn Brooks just made her way around Kyler Sustre. I don't know if she's got enough time nor enough tires to be able to get up there and fight those top 2. But we'll have to wait and see. Just saw Nick Gunther in the 55 coming off of pit road. He's had a struggling day as he was 2 laps down prior to that pit stop and back on pit road once again. Driver that came into this race 13th in the point standings. Struggled last week at Chicago, losing 4 spots in the overall points. We are past 20 to go. Crossed that threshold about 4 laps ago. Still awaiting to see if these drivers can make it the rest of the way on fuel after they made a pit stop back between laps 20 to 25. And I think our answer is about to be right here, because I think the 28's coming in. Fogler from the lead comes to pit road. And this is interesting because as the leader, he's coming down with the undercut. RJ Bishop, Keith Batson, couple of former winners this season on pit road as well. You saw the right side damage on the 39. Wonder if they'll spend a little extra time trying to fix that damage, or they'll just change 4 tires and send him down and away. Be surprised if we don't see Destin Bolin in this lap. He can't give up too much time to the 28. And yep, here he comes. Autumn Brooks is coming in as well. The lap car of Sustre. Nathan Ormond will stay out an extra lap, however, as will Jesse Turner. So interesting strategy here. Staying out on older tires, but maybe the thought process is coming down a somewhat emptier pit road. Whose strategy is going to be the winning one, though? This is the final pit stop of the day. This is the proverbial money stop. Here comes Ormond from the lead coming to pit road. Jesse Turner will pit as well. Let's find the 28 of Caleb Fogler. Oh, this is going to be close. Destin Bolin, I think, had to hit the brakes there on the apron coming off of pit lane. Otherwise, he might have been right alongside of Fogler when he exited out of turn 2. But Fogler is going to cycle back to the lead. Then it will be Bolin, then it will be Brooks, and there will be no lap cars in between them. We'll have to see what the interval is from first to third as more drivers complete their pit stops there. Nathan Ormond leaving pit road now. I believe that right there may have been the exchange for the lead. Either that or Fogler was getting his lap back. We'll double check and see where he scored this time by. Scoring had him 8th the previous lap. We'll see if it puts him to top of the board here. Coming around to complete lap 78. And it will. So Fogler back to the point. Boland in second. Brooks in third. And scoring, well, we actually have to wait on scoring here. It's still updating itself. About 4 seconds separating the top 3. About 1.5 seconds from Fogler back to Boland. Another 2.5 seconds back to Autumn Brooks. Closing in on 10 laps to go. And there is traffic up ahead. That's a teammate to Caleb Fogler, the 38 of Benjamin Snyder. How much of a break, if he catches him, is Snyder going to give his teammate here? What a dominating run here for Caleb Fogler. Start on the pole position. We talked about that this was going to be a racetrack. Track position was going to be very important. We emphasized that in qualifying yesterday. And Fogler has been able to lead every lap with the exception of 3. Dustin Bolin going to get a bonus point for a lap led. Nathan Ormond led 2 laps during that cycle of green flag pit stops. Gap closed up by about 1/10 between Bolin and Fogler. Going to have to close it up quicker than that, though. Oh, the leader just blew up! The 28 has just blown up from the lead! The dominant car of the day, the engine just let go going into 3, and that turns the lead over to last week's winner, Destin Bolin. Are you serious? Did that really just happen? We've had 2 drivers plagued by mechanical failures today. Add a third, the driver that has led a race-high 77 laps, Caleb Fogler. The engine goes south with 10 laps to go. And Dustin Bolin, who last week tied Carson Gum for most wins on the season with 3, now is out in front looking for his 2nd win in a row, his 4th win on the season. Nearly 3+ seconds back to Autumn Brooks in 2nd. What an incredible, what a heartbreaking turn of events for the former champion Caleb Fogler, who was looking like he was en route to P1. Now it looks like he is going to finish in 40th place. That is crazy. Dustin Bolin this time by gonna see 7 laps to go. Autumn Brooks trying to close up a 3-second gap. Lap times are about 1/10 better, but she's running out of time. That now puts Quentin Moore back on the podium in 3rd. Casey Hoyt in 4th, and Jesse Turner in the 5th position. Man, it's like a gut punch. You can't help but feel for Caleb Fogler. We've had everything today in terms of mechanical failures. Jack Mitchell out of the race early after he looked like he had a top 5 car. An engine piston was the official diagnosis on his machine. Cody Lamas. We got another car in trouble. That's Matt McIntyre. coming to a stop on the bottom of the racetrack here on the back straightaway. He was off the racing surface, so officials do not throw the caution. Another car in trouble! That's Daniel Bouchard! What is going on? All of a sudden, the blue ovals are finding problems here. Couple of drivers, both out of the Michael Norman Motorsports stables. We still remain green. What is happening in the final stages here at New Hampshire? Fogler with the engine blow up, the 21 and the 33 teammates out of M&M slowing and coming to a stop on the racing, or just off the racing surface. Boland's a Ford. He's got to be worried right now. The last 3 drivers to have issues have all been blue ovals. He's not out of the woods yet here with 4 laps to go. Cody Lamas, an engine gearbox, why he's out of the race. We've just been told an engine camshaft for the dominant car of the day, Caleb Fogler, and jury's out on whatever has happened here with both Matt McIntyre and Daniel Bouchard. Bouchard was having a great run up inside of the top 10. Matt McIntyre was trying to point his way into the top 10 in overall points. Less than 3 to go for Daniel Bouchard. The gap has remained about 3.5 seconds back to Autumn Brooks. But now it's a question of will the equipment hang on for another 2 laps? Daniel Bouchard taking it easy. He's not closing up on the tail end of the field there. Doesn't want to deal with that traffic. This is absolutely nuts what we have seen here in the closing stages of this afternoon's race from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This time by, though, Destin Boland's going to see the white flag, looking for his series-leading 4th win on the season. Looking for career win number 7, and looking to easily put himself up there as the number 1 seed in the current playoff standings. Can he make it through 3 and 4? 1 week ago, Destin Boland had the dominant car, picked up his 3rd win of the season. This week he had to luck into the victory with the hardship of Caleb Fogler, but 4-time winner in Season 8 will be Destin Boland. He'll take the checkered flag here at New Hampshire, his 2nd win in a row. What an incredible stretch this mile racetrack streak has been for the driver out of Young Motorsports. And this will be the 3rd win in a row for the Young Motorsports organization. 2 wins off the heels of R.J. Bishop's victory back at Iowa Speedway. But what incredible events took place here in the final 20 laps of this race to get us to this point and this finish. Destin Boland going to net his 4th win of the season. He will break the tie with Carson Gum. They were both tied with 3 wins apiece coming into this afternoon's race. And this is looking almost James Qualls, Dylan Poteet-esque from the past couple of seasons. I think Nick Gunther was a 4-time winner actually a couple of seasons ago as well. And Destin Boland is definitely putting his name forward as a favorite for this championship with what he's been able to do, especially here in this second half of the regular season. Autumn Brooks going to bring it home in the 2nd position. Really good run for her. Casey Hoyt, nice to see that 24 car get a good run. He has been close numerous times to looking like he's got a competitive race machine and just hits a whole bunch of hard luck. He'll net a podium finish here in 3rd. Quentin Moore, great run there in 4th position. That's his first top 5 of the season. Well done to him. Took 19 races but finally gets that first top 5 of Season 8. And Jesse Turner, great run there as well in the 5th position. Jesse also netting his first top 5 of the season here this afternoon. Nathan Ormond, 1 week removed of making his way back up in the top 30 in the standings. Solid top 10 in 6th. Another driver that deserved a good run, Kyle Matthews. Good to see him finish in the top 10 in 7th. Carson Gum will bring it home in the 8th position, and we're going to talk about the points lead in just a minute here because from what I see, hey, I think we got ourselves a tie going into next week. Carson 8th. 9th place for Joshua Osborne. Great run for him as well. Well-needed run for the driver out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports. And Ryan Brommer, after the hardships of last week, finishing off of the lead lap. Going to bring it home with a top 10 run. Good run for our Charlotte winner as he looks to get himself back into the overall points lead conversation. Also, you got Levi McIntyre finishing in 11th. Great run for him here this afternoon. Last week, though, still going to hurt as far as that wheel problem because with Carson finishing 8th, Levi finishing 11th, no laps led between them, 3 points separating them coming into this race. Levi and Carson are tied for the points lead going into that wild card road course race next week at Donkey Kong Speedway. Benjamin Miles, good run for him there in 12th. He kind of faded out of the top 10 late. Reggie Fogelman, good run for him in 13th. Summer Henson, Michael Norman in the top 15. This should keep Michael in the top 10 in overall points. And really a good day overall if you look there for Northeast Motorsports. I know Breton was up in the top 10, faded back to 20th, but LaPlante finished in the 16th position. Really good for that organization as a whole this afternoon. We really didn't see any of the drivers meet any hardships. And as a team overall, they really have needed a solid day. And they got it here at New Hampshire. We ended up seeing some former winners in Levi McIntyre, Austin LaPlante finish up there inside of the top 20. A couple of our other former winners didn't fare quite so well this afternoon as James Qualls, the defending winner of this race, he was persona non grata in this one, finished back in the 22nd position, and Keith Batson finished back in 27th place. Of course, Keith trying to make his way back up into the top 30. Let's see, Keith was 2 points below the 30th and standings cut line coming into this afternoon's race. I don't know if 27th is going to cut it. Maybe it will. Maybe he'll be back in the top 30. We'll have to find out in just a few moments. Poor performance for Alexander Rowe, 3rd in the standings, finishing back in the 32nd spot, and drivers around him like Brommer, McIntyre, and Gum, they all finished well this afternoon. So Rowe will probably take a hit in the points. And, man, I mean, we talked last week about the hardship for Caleb Fogler, but Benjamin Snyder and Zachary Fitzwater still looked pretty good. This week, Fogler was the show-out driver before he got hit with the engine failure. His other teammates, they didn't show up at all. Snyder and Fitzwater, the last 2 cars to finish on the lead lap in 33rd and 34th. Cole Deaver -1, Nick Gunther -2, same for Kyler Sustre. Danny Bouchard, we never got to find out what the problem was for him, but a camshaft issue for Matt McIntyre in the final 10 laps of this race finishes him in 39th, so that will hurt his chances of pointing up into the top 10 here this weekend. Caleb Fogler, hardship of the race, has to be. Led a race-high 77 laps. Had this race in hand before the mechanical failure with less than 10 laps to go. Cody Lamas also succumbed to a mechanical problem well early into this race with a gearbox issue, and Jack Mitchell was running up inside of the top 5, and then he got plagued with a mechanical problem very early on in this race, finishing in dead last. So he'll take a tumble in the point standings. Some other drivers that look like they will also free fall through points include Alexander Rowe. Eric Sadler didn't have the best of runs here this afternoon in that 12 car. Where did he finish? He finished in 21st. We obviously talked as well about Matt McIntyre. RJ Bishop did not finish well in this race. 24th for him. And where did Matt Haas finish? He finished 29th. So, yeah, a lot of drivers down there in that latter half of the top 10 look like they will fall down close to that cut line, if not maybe out of the top 10, heading into next week's race here at the Donkey Kong Jungle Raceway. But what a run Destin Bolin has been on. Sometimes you just got to be in the right place at the right time. That was the case for the 0-2 here this afternoon as he nets his 4th win on the season, his 2nd win in a row. and he is certainly going to be a driver we will be talking about next week and the upcoming weeks here heading towards the playoffs being put together. Thank you all for tuning in to today's race here from New Hampshire. This racetrack never disappoints for exciting finishes and unpredictability. That's why it's been on the schedule ever since Season 1 of Duracell Next Gen Cup Series competition. Well, hope you guys are ready for a good one next week. We're going to the wacky, zany, unpredictable road course, Donkey Kong's Jungle Raceway. Hope you guys will join us for that one. It'll just be the Cup Series drivers. Pole day qualifying on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the race, the green flag, will fly on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you guys for that weekend. Lights drivers will be back the following week with the Cup drivers at the Kentucky Speedway. But until next week, thank you all for tuning in to today's race here from New Hampshire. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We show you full feature results. These are the point standings heading into next week's road course race at Donkey Kong Jungle Raceway. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.